sipping on some cocoa from the trees. I ain't going local, far from a local, on the go. Like I got it bad, the type of shit that make a lifestyle out of all the things I never had. I'm super glad that my growth and my self-love ain't a fad. Creating from the void can never leave a lover sad. Prying stories to validate what the lower realms lack. Knowing the words extend past dimensions from this pad, it lagged off of life. Never seen a lesson twice, colder than ice. Infiltrated my demise, we the living wonders before your eyes. Light hitting with no disguise, more to broaden. So won't justify lies placed on my soul. Always such a struggle, learning how to let go. With the older me's, baby, let me know what side of me is you really trying to see. I'ma take you deeper than the sea, hoping you won't aim to flee. Gone with a piece of me, twisting me, seek bliss with me. She getting rich with me, plus breeding seeds with me to last infinitely. 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 Welcome. Welcome back, y'all. Listen, we're here. It's literally Sunday. This is the first time I've recorded a video on Sunday. And this topic is quite so it's funny that manifested for me to do that after I already drunk water and everything before I even recorded. Welcome back, y'all. It's Fake Big Dick Energy. You already know. I'm your host, Jessie Vils, and I'm just in a weird type of vibe today, but I'm going to talk about a very serious subject matter, and sometimes this is just a balance for me to feel more upbeat when I'm speaking on things that can be a bit low, I guess. It depends on what you want to call it. A lot of people don't take the time to dive deep into it, so it could be a form of depth. So this transpired because we're in summer. You're seeing a lot of bugs around. You're seeing a lot of animals and a lot of things in nature just blooming and definitely being shown. So for example, when we was in Costa Rica, it was the summertime, and there were like hives of ants that would just come, and there would be so much, like literally the amount is unbelievable, and they would just be around, and then certain times in the afternoon they would be gone. Or roaches, they breed more. I mean, roaches gonna be roaches, but I feel like I see them more in the summertime when it's hot. And Roy, could you find a place for you to be at and just sit? That's my baby Royal in the back. If y'all don't know, maybe he'll have an introduction, but yes, he's a Chorky and he's all in the back. This is the first time I let him out, so this video is a lot different, but it transpired because I had a friend that had a circumstance with bees, and I recalled when I had a situation with bees and how much that transformed me just because they connected to my home. But thinking about on an aspect of, like, I actually bought bee pollen. Bee pollen is such a curate for even dogs with allergies and things of sort. So I bought bee pollen, and that just was one of the correlations. And then like where a roach, like when they come in your house or whatever, to the point where back in the days, even with flies, when I see flies around, like I don't even like that energy signature. So even if I don't have the capacity to kill them, my intention is to not want them around. And I wasn't always like that. I felt like when I didn't eat meat, I was a lot more in tune with like the aspect of life and how valuable that is on all aspects. And now I've transferred into thinking about like how immune I became to not only the lives of flies. I mean, I still don't like to kill them, but a mosquito gonna get slapped because a mosquito, I saw a video the other day of how mosquitoes actually putting all type of stuff, and like how the process of a female mosquito actually biting you, what that does to you. And when I think about that, nothing about that aligns to me. But beyond that, on the aspect of insects, they all have a purpose. And I just mentioned today, I'm like, man, the reason why I think of killing a roach when I see it in my house is because they be with like dead insects and dead animals and things of sort. But the fact that we all die, like the beautiful, beautiful cycle of death that we all will experience, from a roach to a fly to a mosquito to a plant to a tree to you to me. when you think about that, it makes me think about how immune a lot of people have become to something so minuscule because it's small. You physically look at it as a small aspect. You don't realize how transformative it is. For example, like people wanting to kill a whole beehive. I could understand why my friend was hesitant because bees actually keep us alive, all of us. Their pollination and things of sort that we capitalize on and things of sort is form of a natural cycle that is necessary. So are roaches. There's a reason why roaches have been here even when dinosaurs been here. Literally, it's something about their capacity to endure, and that's significant in itself. But when you see it, you look at it like it's something dirty. And I'm a black woman. I'm like the lowest of the cycle. People could look at me like I'm dirty because I decide to have a fake big dick as my symbol, but that's so ironic. I do it because it's ironic. I don't do it to necessarily be controversial, but it's real. Like all these symbolic things, they come into a standard, and I feel like one of my downloads that I've been receiving a lot is to be more mindful of the present time, you and your vessel, and how that's looking in this present time. Being mindful of all the things that you do to tarnish it or to grace it, things that you might feel is gracing it. For example, this podcast, when it becomes stressful and it requires me to do things out of the box, sometimes it's challenging, but I'm still gracing myself because I'm developing myself. So when you're thinking about things that may not be the most beautiful form of development, and you're growing and you're giving yourself that grace and development and that space, you have to recognize that that may not always be pretty, but there's cycles and there's a reason for all of those things. And something that the reason why I love the yin yang symbol, and I love to say that that is like the realm that we in, is because whenever you look at anything, like for the goodness of it, you can see the negativity in it as well, and vice versa. And I just want to make sure that as much as I can incorporate and highlight all the beautiful things, like we highlight those negative things and bring it to a light, because something as simple as the fact that almost everybody killing ants on the floor, and it's to the point where you don't even see it. Like it's like, oh, that was an ant. Like that was a whole living thing. Probably had a family or at least a tribe, or meant something. I know ants mean something to another, because if not, they wouldn't be trying to pick each other up. Sometimes they'd be taking each other back, even if they're to eat it. It's holding some weight or value. And if an ant can see it as a value, ants are so magnificent as well. They're so powerful. They're probably stronger than us, really, on capacity to what they're able to sustain in regards to their body mass, like what they pick up and how they cultivate amongst mass. If we had that type of mentality, there would be no form of capitalism in this world. But so it just forms with significance. Just because things are small, minuscule in your life, something as small as a habit, something as small as traits that you incorporate, from anger to lack of patience to levels, all of these things, and how you're devoting that and how you're exposing that in your life, all these things can definitely accumulate to something that can be either detrimental or life-changing in a good way. So I wanted to just acknowledge how important it is to be present of that, and to make appreciation the biggest feel in being able to experience it. Because all these things that we go through, I don't know about regular people, but my days are all different. Even if I'm doing the same things like cleaning, cooking, that's always going to be incorporated to give me a form of stability. Working, and I found that when I'm working, even with creatively, like I love always having something to do, but there's a balance of not allowing it to be detrimental just because you want it to be structured. I know it's a lot of people out here that feel like structured is the way to success, and I mean, it has a point. Consistency is always key, but I'm gonna just go ahead and put on my crown now, because I mean, if it's meant to be done, it's gonna be done. I don't want to say that people should stop killing insects and roaches and stuff, because I don't know how the life would be in this world if we didn't at least control it, just like how they try to control population with humans. I just really been wondering, what is the purpose and why we have to play this cycle of life, whether you want to or not, whether you're a hunter by nature or just a survivalist. My biggest dilemma and the thing that I'm overcoming and trying to still remain pure in is acknowledging that sometimes it's like big fish gonna take little fish, but how does a little fish ever get to be a big fish? You know what I'm saying? If the big fish is always taking the little fish. But obviously the fishes have to come big, so they have to become big. So that's survivalist aspect. But it's like, does that mean in some aspects you just defy the odds? I don't know. The biggest thing for me is that I have become comfortable in, like, if it's a small roach, small ant, something, a small spider, like I'm killing that off bats, and it's like it just resonated for me because I'm like, that's me. It's so easy to dismiss or transmute out of the significance of something that's so minuscule and so light, but to me, I hold so much weight, and I feel like I hold the glue. So there's something significant about this subject matter, and a lot of my subject matters that coincide to what I'm going through in my personal life. But with this one, it's kind of leaving me with like, I don't know. I went to the museum, and it's strange because, yeah, in this video that y'all saw, it was a lot of art and stuff. I didn't put this particular art, and it was the most massive form of the art. That makes me want to add a clip. I'm gonna add a clip right here. I have to remember that because I did catch a video of it, and it even had a form of vibration added to it. But the most significant thing about this art is that she did it to capture how much we're affecting the ocean. Like, she made a well, and the well was kind of based off of like a physical well, a water mammal. It was based out of like recycled material, but it was glorified, like it was glamorized, it was glossed, it was nice elements of structure and folding and like almost like a paper mache type of aspect, and it was humongous, and it was a vibration that kind of transcended throughout the whole museum. So it really was a statement piece, and it's going to be there until August in Mocha in Jacksonville. If y'all know about it, that's a downtown museum. So I don't know exactly what day, but the concept of this Asian artist and what she wanted to captivate, and it's so funny because I almost didn't even listen or read what that whole subject matter, what that art was cultivated from, and that in itself is powerful. But she was saying like how this was all created out of trash, and how we are creating a new form of, like, we should call it a ghost, because it's like you know it's there, but you don't really see it. It's like a translucent effect to how we're harming the ocean through our waste and spills and all these other aspects, and how we think that is causing a solution because it's definitely not polluting our immediate area, but it's going into the ocean and it's creating a ghost, a mammal, a whole being of destruction that is a ghost because we don't want to acknowledge it or see or validate that that is real, just because we don't see what it may become or what it is fully on effect. You know, you look at it like just a plastic bottle. You don't think about where it goes when you're drinking. How many of those water bottles a month? If you getting those gallons of water bottles, rather than even with the gallon of bottles, like all of these aspects, where is the end result of it? Because you're thinking that it's just sourced with you being okay or immune to the severity of killing a bug, but the cycles, and us being as humans, I can see why we can be detrimental to this earth and to ourselves. It's like that's part of the cycle in this yin yang realm. You think you're working hard, you think you're getting somewhere, but really the more you growing, the more it's deteriorating a lot. And I used to watch this documentary, and it was like Life Without Humans, and I'm like, man, we thinking that big ass dinosaurs was destructive, like, you know, their foot is damaging the earth, and whole time I feel like humans can be so much more minuscule and hold so much weight. It's kind of that same ironic feel that I've been touching on in so ways it's an energy signature, so it's not really gonna be just stuck on one physical subject matter. Like it could be taught into so many, but we're smaller than the dinosaur, and we're doing more harm to the world. We're creating a whole new world that will take away from the natural cycle and elements of even our being. That's why our DNA is being shifted. That's why people dying like flies. The way that the life cycle even is different. And I feel it. I feel it in my chest. I feel that. So y'all just, we going on the cycle. You think AI is where it's at? AI is definitely what's allowing me to get money and allowing me to continue on my cycle in this world. So I'm with it. Obviously, I have a lot of Aquarius energy. I see that the future is definitely technical, and that is beyond just with the computer and technology. But to get to the point of it all, the more you love yourself and value yourself, loving yourself is not avoiding yourself. But I'm not judging. Listen, I avoid myself still. So the more we learn ourselves, love ourselves, the more we will see in this world that certain things will be eradicated. Being immune to even having fucking bugs in your house will not happen. Roaches will not have a need to be in your house. Bees will not have a need to be in your house if we stop cutting down this many trees, and now we done found another form. Like actually growing more. Let's grow some hemps to create a trees. Change that subject matter. Once you start to heal yourself, you see that there's healing all over. But I mean, I'm just one of the vessels to bring this message through, and I feel like this message is a little bit before its time. But this whole vibe, bro. Maybe it's a Cancer energy. It's making me more in depth. It's making me more emotional. It's making me more aware of those bigger, smaller things that a lot of people overlook, and it's making me more metaphoric. So with that, I just want to leave y'all with something for y'all to ponder on, and know that I love y'all. We gonna carry on. However we transform and grow from this, it's gonna be growth. And even though it seems temporary, bro, all of this shit is gonna coincide and matter and be a big thing. I heard it first on Fake Big Dick Energy. No matter what way it go, we gonna grow from it. We might look different in the end, but I'm gonna be here, my friend. Peace, y'all. I'll see y'all next week.